Good afternoon, everyone. Across Canada, government reduces the wheat output forecast, specifically spring wheat down 27%, durum wheat down 27%. Saskatchewan, the harvest that got delayed because of ice and snow earlier in October never progressed. So they're going to leave 10 to 20% of all crops in the field stranded. Saskatchewan crop hail payouts were 60% above last year's level. But now they're going to need to add in all this damage from the early snow and frost. Taking a look at precipitation map, that dark purple is all-time record rains going back 180 years. Now when you add that much rain with cold, what's the result? Please remember to press that subscribe button, Adapt 2030. Early skiing officially open across everywhere in Canada right now. Big White Ski Resort, 13 centimeters of new fresh powder. Whistler, 80 centimeters. Abundant snows across British Columbia. And it has been snowing since the beginning of October, with early snowfall records in Fort St. John's area, breaking the old snow record by 4 times. Heavy snows in the very first days of October. Record-breaking snowfall in Saskatchewan, where all the delayed crops are happening right now. What the farm fields looked like even back in the beginning of October. And that Saskatchewan harvest has not advanced since these stories came out. Those snowstorms started in the beginning of October, continued to the middle of October, and still are so ferocious with no let up that in BC, they have stranded 10 to 20% of crops in the ground that will not be harvested. Alberta as well, a lot of crops still left out there. Saskatchewan crop hail payouts are up 60% in 2016 from the year prior. That's just from hail damage to crops during the summer growing season, getting up around $250 million on that. Now they're going to have to add in all the losses from early snow and early ice storms. So progressing from the middle of the month forward, Weather Network, gusty winds, winter mix marks on the Prairie, 5 to 15 centimeters, alpine ski areas at least a foot, and it just continued and continued. Lake Louise, Alberta again. It got so bad that freezing fog made it difficult for travel. And then even in late October, more precipitation, snow, rain, heavy winds, pushing all the way over east this time. Still last week's accumulating snow right where they're going to harvest the crops. And when we look at this precipitation map, that area in dark purple, that is all-time record rain, measured back 180 years. Now St. John's, which is not to be confused with Fort St. John's over in British Columbia, Halifax as well. Weather Network, look how they put it. Blustery winds Friday and Saturday. Okay, 72 miles per hour is a Category 1 hurricane. They're pushing 60, 62 miles per hour, but those are just blustery. So you can clearly see why AgWeb has put out that combined and processed out of the fields is only 68%, down from an average of 79%. Potential price hike for consumers is record snowfall in the BC harvest areas as well as Alberta and Saskatchewan. Canada reduces the wheat output forecast as the weather hurts the crop harvesting. Of course, look at all this early snow and rain. We're looking at spring wheat output reduced by 27%. Durum wheat declining by 27%. Soya beans up. Canola still undecided. There's so much left out in the fields. And if you have been paying attention even 1/5 of 1/8 of a percent about the effects of the grand solar minimum coming, the Reconstruction map showing exactly over these areas is going to get colder mixed with all that excess precipitation. This is the start of the loss of the crops. This is it now. We're getting this little chip away here. So I'm really interested to see with China, snow and abnormally cold 33 below zero temperatures up in their fields already. Their stranded crops lost. They're never going to get anything out of the Chinese fields as well from this point forward. And Russia with the early snows That's 3 major grain areas that have already been hit this year alone with crop losses due to abnormal cold, early snows, and ice storms. What's it going to be like next year? Thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of the video. And with that being said, you should contact Bob over at Trade Genius. They are trading on the grand solar minimum losses. They have a strategy for where they see through historical cycles the losses in grain production going forward to 2030. I definitely trust his opinions on where it's going to hit and the intensity of it and the losses. Definitely worth your time to talk to him. Please remember to subscribe to Adapt 2030 and I will keep more stories like these coming to you.